A KQED HD production.
The connection to our environment is a defining part of life in Northern California.
In the Bay Area, there's over 1.1 million acres of public open space. It's incredible in an area of this size to have that amount of land available so people can go out and really reconnect with nature. These open spaces provide an opportunity for people to really get connected to their roots, both literally and figuratively.
But one significant landmark has remained off limits to the public for more than 50 years. Mount Umunhum rises steeply above the Santa Clara Valley with a unique 360-degree view that only a lucky few have ever seen.
If you look to the south, you can see past the end of the Monterey Peninsula. If you look north, you can see San Francisco into the wine country, Mount Tamalpais. You can see out to the Sierras, and you can see Mount Diablo, Mount Hamilton, and well out to the Pacific Ocean. It's all of Monterey Bay. It's a spectacular view.
It was precisely this towering vantage point that attracted the U.S. military. In 1957, the Air Force opened a sprawling base known as Almaden Air Force Station at the summit. It would become an integral part of America's early warning defense system during the Cold War. Today, the Midpeninsula Regional Open Space District, the public agency that purchased the summit from the federal government more than 25 years ago, is working to restore it to open space.
The Open Space District's vision for the future is to eventually open it to the public so that they can get up there and enjoy it and see the Bay Area from this very unique perspective. Well, Mount Umunhum is located in the southern, drier portion of the Santa Cruz Mountains, just west of San Jose and south of Los Gatos, in a place called the Sierra Azules, means the Blue Mountains. And this is part of the greater Sierra Azul Open Space Preserve. It's 18,000 acres, contiguous acres.
Like Mount Diablo in the East Bay and Mount Tamalpais in Marin, Mount Umunhum will provide incredible vistas and recreational opportunities. Climbing 3,486 feet, Mount Umunhum is the second highest peak in the Santa Cruz Mountains and is known for one very distinct feature.
The way you'd recognize Mount Umunhum, and so many people in Silicon Valley have over the years, is there's a remnants of a radar station that was up there that it can be seen as a big cube, and you see it from all over Silicon Valley. You can see it as far north as Stanford. So that's how many people recognize Mount Umunhum. It's also got a very memorable name.
The name Umunhum is said to come from an Ohlone Indian phrase meaning the resting place of the hummingbird. The hummingbird is an important figure in the local Ohlone creation story, and this place has a strong physical connection to their legends.
Our people have been in this area here for thousands and thousands of years, countless generations. And they walked this land, and they've climbed every mountaintop. They probably touched every one of those trees.
Mount Umunhum was a central part of the ancestral territory of the Amah Mutsun, one of the local Ohlone tribal bands.
For years, our people would go to the mountaintop to pray, and the reason they would go to the mountaintop is to be closer to the Creator. So, every time they say, where are your sacred sites? We just say, look at the mountaintops around you. Those are our sacred sites. But none of them took us as close to the Creator as Mount Umunhum did. And now, once again, that Mount Umunhum is going to be open to the public, we'll be able to walk up there as our ancestors did.
Access to the expansive ridgetop has been largely prohibited, and much of the mountain remains cloaked in a secret history few are aware of.
Today, we must be on guard in the sky when it comes to protecting our resources.
Starting in 1957, every day, 24 hours a day, the Air Force stayed on full alert at this remote radar station. If anything suspicious came up on the screens, fighter jets would be scrambled to meet the threat.
It's funny, the first time I came up here after being away for 40 years, 40 plus years, I'm getting goosebumps right now.
Throughout the Cold War, radar operators like Bob Watts manned the scopes, ever diligent, watching the skies for incoming Soviet bombers.
It was just constant. We knew that if they came, you better be doing your job and you better be doing it good. Because the Tupolev bombers, the Tu-95s that they had were comparable to our B-52s. If one bear got through, everybody would die. There's no doubt about that. And the personnel knew that.
Thankfully, that day never came. And with advanced satellite technology and changing world politics, the Air Force finally pulled out in 1980, leaving behind a ghost town.
You look up from the valley and you really see one building, which is the radar tower. Yet behind that, and over to my shoulder here, is an entire community up here. There was family housing, there was a rec center, there was a swimming pool, there was a gymnasium. It was a self-sustained community up in the mountains. And during the height of its operation, there was 120 airmen and their families. Mother Nature certainly has started to reclaim what was once hers many years ago. A lot of the buildings, obviously they're dilapidated. This place, it'll be demolished, it'll be removed, and will be returned back to its natural state.
For more than 20 years, the Midpeninsula Regional Open Space District and the federal government squabbled over whose responsibility it was to clean up the site. But in 2009, Congress approved $3.2 million to finally start the work. Harvey Jones from the Army Corps of Engineers is the program manager in charge of the cleanup project.
What we're trying to do now is eventually take care of all the hazardous materials, hazardous waste that were here. There were a number of underground storage tanks full of fuel, above ground storage tanks, transformers that had PCB containing material, and right now we're trying to take care of environmental concerns and take out the asbestos and lead-based paint that is currently on some of the facilities, get rid of that, and then eventually start the demolition and make it back to Mount Umunhum. This project for the Corps of Engineers is actually very gratifying. Some of the things they have planned and that the Corps is extremely enthused about is a lot of trails, a lot of hiking, day-type activities, picnicking, that sort of thing, that will have vistas, views, and wildlife that is just fantastic.
The total cleanup is estimated to cost $13 million. Depending on the fickle winds of politics and the economy, the summit may not be open to the public until after 2015. But when finished, Mount Umunhum will take its place among the iconic peaks of the Bay Area.
I think there's some tremendous opportunities here to teach our public about the entire arc of history of this area. And it really goes from prehistoric times with the Ohlone tribe, who are still here today, and then the more recent history, how this mountain tied in with the Cold War, and now what it will be in the future. The ultimate goal is to have Mount Umunhum be a destination for the public, so that they can get up there regardless of their ability to do so. So you can drive, you can bicycle, you can hike up there. We would keep the facilities to a minimum, but enough so that when the public comes up, they have a place to go and to have an enjoyable visit and hopefully a memorable one.
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I'm hoping that the Open Space District remembers the Air Force veterans that served here and the reason they served here. I would like to see something to thank the GIs that served here.
Today, we look forward to the time when our people can return to the mountaintop, to Mount Umunhum, and to bring back this most important sacred site. And we invite people from the Bay Area, from California, from across the United States, and even the world to come to Mount Umunhum, and we should all look forward to that time.